Hi, everyone. Wowzers. I'm Luciinda. Hi. I am late because I don't even know why. I thought I was having internet problems and PayPal wouldn't load correctly for me. So I was like, well, PayPal's having problems. And then I went to StreamYard and it didn't have a thumbnail up at all. And I was like, but I just saw it on my phone earlier. So then I was like, well, when I shut down, it asked me, and then I came back, I had some tabs open. Do you want to restore pages? And I said, sure. So I think that screwed it up. I have no idea. So I just shut my whole computer down, came back in, and here we are. However, thank you all for finding me because I made the thumbnail last night and I put 3.5. It's 3.6. Whoosh. Hi, Rose. Hi, Happy Ducky. Solar flares. Solar brain. Honest to God, it's just PayPal is always acting up. StreamYard acts up. YouTube acts up. But I think this was something to do with my computer restoring the pages. I don't know, but at least I have internet, and I'm here. I did load the thumbnail because I bought the dang plan because there was no other choice, but I put the wrong date. But I did say Friday. So, I mean, that helps, right? I don't know, man. Let me set my timer. Rose, how are you today? And how is David? How's your miracle, Rose? How's your miracle? That's what I want to know. I love that. I don't even need to know like any more of the story. I just every time I see your name, I think of the miracle. Yeah. And it always makes me smile. And Happy Ducky, how the heck are you? How the heck are you? Yeah, good. I did notice on something I was watching that something else entirely, that it seems as though the deep freeze across the majority of the United States is melting. So that's spectacular. It's only 70 here today. Only 70. But we are going to finally get some more rain coming in this next week. And we need it. We've literally only had, I don't know, 7 days of rain. So, yeah, we need more rain. I'm happy to. Good for you. I wish I could say that. I mean, I'm always blessed, so I can take that to the bank, but I'm not always fantastic. And I'm okay. My back is much better than it was. Now, this weekend is going to be sitting in this office each and every day from 12 till I can't stand it anymore, packing. I have one more person to invoice and packing boxes to go out and putting away all this jewelry. So I shall pray that I will be okay with that. But that's all right. So hey everyone. Hi Chew. Yeah. I used to be an annoyingly happy person. My daughter can be annoyingly happy. And she probably got it from me. So I'm Luciinda. I live in Northern California, so that's where I ship from. I do 2-week build boxes. This is the end of week 1. Next week will be week 2. I can count. Look at me go. I do that to save you on shipping because on Tuesdays I am back to doing vintage household, but it's all clearance. And even before that, even with jewelry, it saves me time on invoicing, and it saves you money, hopefully, on shipping. Once all the household stuff is cleared out and we're just doing jewelry, then I will be able to do, those small boxes that are a set price. And even though it'll still be 2 weeks, that will make a huge difference for everyone. Oh, Gigi. Gigi is here. Hi, Gigi. Gigi. I lit a candle for your husband the other night. And I told my partner, my husband, and we definitely thought about it and prayed about it and kept a candle lit overnight. Yep. My prayers are with you, honey. So this is Friday. Friday is where I slow down a little, even though I tend to not go super fast, but I slow down a little, and I might talk a little bit more about the construction of a piece, what to look for, how to date it, what I see, yada, yada, yada. I sell mostly vintage costume. I do have a couple pieces that are semi-precious. I usually bring that. And I brought, I always bring a huge variety. I brought the 3 Jabbit pins that I've showed so far. And I calculated out exactly how much I paid for them, including shipping. And I'm going to be able to sell the Jabbit pins for $14 a piece, minus vintage hanky. If you want the vintage hanky, they'll be $16 starting bid. So that's really cool. And if people like them, they're from the 1920s, turn of the century, 1900s to 1920 at the latest. Then I will show all of them, and forego some of the other stuff. I have rings, I have bracelets, I have copper, I have, I have stuff. I have a problem with jewelry. Okay, so, and Happy Ducky is like this miracle person that just came out of nowhere, as far as I'm concerned, who mods for me. And I mean, honest to God, she just came out of nowhere and said, I'll help. And she just keeps showing up. So I must be doing something right in the universe. And she must not be bored with me yet. I haven't pissed her off. So, okay, that said, I'm going to start out with something that I think is really cool. I think I've had this for a while because I was going through, I always have a box of brand new stuff that I got, but I haven't opened yet, that I piece in with stuff that, I've had a long time. I've shown before. I've had since 2000, 2001, when eBay started. And I always look in that along with, sometimes the boxes from my eBay days and other stuff. And I found this and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot all about this. It just kind of show up. Well, I'm glad you just kind of show up, Happy Ducky. Oh my God, Happy Ducky. I think you're a lot more than that, but I like the humor. Thank you. We can always use humor. We can always use humor. Oh my Lord. I haven't heard something like that in a long time. Thank you. I appreciate laughter. Okay, so we're going to start. And the first item is going to be a vintage brooch that starts at $25. It's I opened this up right before all the computer problems happened as I was putting things over here, and I was like, what? Wow. Oof. So I always start with showing the back because I think, let me get a little closer. I think that, whoops, helps to set the tone for what's coming up. It's this really incredibly burnished silver tone. It's in perfect condition. The pin back does not really stick out right here. So I'm going with 70s. I'm surprised it's not 50s. Now, it does not have a maker. I'm also really surprised by that. It is, I'm going to look at the clasp right quick. I'm going to look at the clasp right quick. You know, when we talk constantly, like to ourselves, but to you guys, but to ourselves, sometimes we get a little tongue-tied. Yeah. So sometimes, do you see the tip of this? You see how incredibly sharp it is? And how you can see a difference in color? I think that this is 1960s or 1950s, and someone filed it down to not poke through and make it sharper again. Because I really, the whole style of this fits more with like a MCM 1950s, and I bet this came as a set with necklace and earrings. I don't know where my here it is. Hold on. I want to get I haven't had access to this in a while, and it sure does make my life easier when I have it, my brooch holder. So there you go. Look at that. You can just ooh and ah for a minute. It's absolutely supposed to hang this way. It could not. I mean, you know, see if it hung sideways, even though there's some articulation back here, that looks weird and droopy to me. I don't like it. So see, the brooch is like that, but I believe it should be like this. These are AB, this baby blue. Come on. One more, hold on. Yes, okay. They are glass. They are glass. I just really needed, I really needed to tap it on my teeth more than once because it has the AB coating, and just check. And the burnished silver tone, I think this is gorgeous. And it's long. It's big. Let me tell you the length. I don't have a lot more to say about it other than I wish I knew the designer. And probably if I had done a image search and really dug deep into that with my knowledge, I could have figured it out. Each piece, the way the back is made, does have movement, which if you've been around me, you know I like things with movement. I really do suspect, even though it's not on the piece, that this was a higher end piece. And it's also just incredible. So therefore the start price. And I think that's like a tulip, right? Hold on. Sorry. 3.5 inches long. Oh, yeah. 3.5 inches long. It's incredible. Oh, I have a blue brooch, but look. I mean, it's just hot damn. I'm so glad I'm not keeping very much jewelry anymore, because this is one that I would keep. So think about it. I don't do recaps. And there is, it's pyramid. So 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 2 beads, whatever that means, just to layer it. Actually, there's 3 at the top. 3, 4, 3, 2, 3, 2, 1. Incredible. And I should, if no one picks it up today, I'm going to do a image search. Now, what I want to say about image searches, y'all, is, you could go back to that and snap a picture, and you could do a Google image search. But if you do, please be careful and have knowledge of what you're looking for, and such that if you find it, you don't find a whole bunch that's copied and pasted. Because what people do when they list on eBay is they go to eBay or they go to Google image search, which now is actually more of a selling platform than just an image search. Go figure. And so someone will say, "Ooh, that's a Heidi Klum." I'm totally making this up. And then every single person who sees that will say, "It's a Heidi Klum. It's a Heidi Klum. It's a Heidi Klum. It's from the 50s. It's from the 50s. It's from." In fact of the matter is, it's actually a Richard Arnold. So when you do an image search, know your stuff and do a deeper dive. Look at more than one image, okay? So that you, because not everyone knows what they're doing. And it's really easy to say that something is something, and it's not that at all. Okay? Thank you. So Happy Ducky, see? Happy Ducky did her research. It sold for $50 on eBay. I'm asking a start of $25. That's what I thought. Did Happy Ducky, does it say who made it? As long as you're Google imaging for me. Does it say who made it? I'm serious. I'm like so fascinated. It just has a high quality. Wow. 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 Well, I'm going to look it up. So just to kind of, because this is vaguely similar, but not, these are going to be a buy it now for $12. Please. And thank you, Happy Ducky, for doing that. Happy Ducky, you're going to be, are you just going to be listing on eBay or on another store, another platform? Or are you going to do live sales? Question of the day. I'm curious, and all of us would like to know. So these are buy it now for $12. These are gorgeous. I've shown them a little while ago. These are what you call ear climbers, because they excellent. Okay. Well, Happy Ducky, maybe one day you'll come sell with me. I don't know what you sell, but shoot me a thing when you list and let me know your store. So that is blue milk glass. Milk glass is traditionally thought of as white, but there are other colors, red and blues, maybe green, but I think not. I think that's jadeite, of milk glass. It is prong set. It is confetti. Let's do this. I'm trying to make it show that it's blue. Oh, you know why? I have to change my There you go. It's a blue underneath here with silver flecks, and then it has they're almost like a lilac rhinestone with one dark blue right there. This prong set. They're clip-on. These are from late 50s, 60s. Very MCM. And they're called ear climbers because of this, the way it climbs up your ear on the side. Sometimes they're huge and will cover your whole ear. These are a little bit more dainty. And so they have to be worn on the correct side. See, this has to be, so these are on the outside. If it was over here, it would poke into your face. And that rhinestone is not, I just want to be clear, that is not, I struggled with this the last time I showed it. Because do you see how the other ones are a darker sapphire blue? Those are a lighter blue. And then it has an entirely different blue color. I struggled with, were those put in later? Did someone take them out and then someone put them back in? And it's always the lighting is so hard. I don't believe so. I believe I looked at the prongs and I, really, because I make jewelry. I can make jewelry. And I have needle nose pliers and I set things in prongs. And I don't see where they screwed with it. That's another thing. If you ever get something like this and there's a different colored stone, you can look. And now some people are really good at it. And so, it could be tricksy. But you can look at the prongs and see if it looks like they've been opened and reset. And I'll tell you a secret and then we'll move away from these. On something this old with the prong settings, these are relatively flimsy little prongs, even though they're well done and they're good. They're also not. Do I have anything on? I don't. I was trying to find something with prongs to give you an example. I got it. Hold on. Hold the camera. They're not the quality of, even though this is large prongs, they're not the quality of this kind of prong where it would be, these would not break. And that's not a good example. These likely would break off the tips, the silver tips, if you were messing with them, and none of them are broken. So for whatever reason, when these were made, that was the colors that were put in. So there you go. Beautiful, beautiful ear climbers. I mean, I would wear these and no necklace, nothing else to go out. Yep. Okay. Moving forward. Thank you for indulging. I mean, today is educational chat and sale. And remember, all of you can talk to me if you have, like Happy Ducky had something to say about that incredible brooch. So tell me, talk to me. Let me know what you think. I'm into it. I want to hear. Oh, okay. I have several copper, old 1970s, and some I believe are older, like Harvey House cuffs. This one still has a price tag. Was it? Here you go. The label is now gone. Super old. It got it peeled off so easily. So this one is going to start at 14. And this one is well worn. It's very thick copper. Very thick copper cuff. And everything about this says to me, including the finish on the ends. I got to change the light back from what it was. Including the finishing on the end is done so well. I mean, it's just one huge thick piece of copper wrapped. Well, it's got to be two, but it comes to a solid, smooth edge. So one could think, well, that's 1970s. I actually think that this one, because copper cups were a really popular artisan thing starting in the 70s and, you know, continue to this day, although very thin. Oh, sorry, out of frame. I think this could be an older, quote, in quote, kind of Harvey House copper cuff. It's got a lot of green patina inside, this really thick. I mean, it's thick. Look at how thick it is compared to this old Harvey House turquoise cuff I have on. It's really thick. So I actually think this is more like maybe the 50s, maybe back to the 30s, but I can't. This is my speculation because I've had so many cuffs in my hands. It's a small one. See, it doesn't want to fit on my wrist unless I was to bend it out. And that's another clue. See how tiny it is? Even in the 70s, they weren't making jewelry this tiny. So that's another clue that it really could be as old as the 30s, 20s, when Harvey House was pumping out all these, Native American sterling silver turquoise type cuffs. So how big is it? And it's heavy. I mean, the patina it's been around. This has been around for a while. It takes a long time for the green patina. It says 2¼ inches. The actual little cuff opening is 1 inch. And if I go the other way, it's barely 2. So I would like, copper is huge right now. This is starting at 14. This is an incredible deal. I would like to say that this probably fits like a size without pulling it, because you could, but it's really thick and heavy, and I'm pulling and it doesn't want to budge. I want to say this is like a size 6, 6.25. And it's the other thing why I think it's older, because it kind of is like modernist or brutalist. It's really interesting. So there you go. That's one. We'll just keep going down the line. Remember, I don't do recaps, and thank you to everyone that is here. This is definitely a 1970s piece. Oh, no, look at that. Hold on. Wait. Because that's... Let me double check. Thank you, Happy Ducky. 1980. Well, it's got pennies. '78, 1980s, 1971, 1980, 1978, 1977, 1979, and 1980. So this was probably made 1980. And this is going to start at $22. There you go, the light. This is an artisan-made copper penny cuff. And I was surprised. I really thought it would have said 1970 pennies and earlier, but it does have some 1980s. That surprised me because this using coins for art was super popular in the 70s. Doesn't mean it's not still popular, but I mean, it was a really big thing in the 70s. And there's the back of the pennies. And they just soldered them together to make this cuff. I think it's so cool. And it goes onto my wrist, no problem. It's actually almost a little too big. It's upside down. Sorry, I love this. Anyone remember the copper penny restaurants? I do. I used to go. Ooh, this is not a good story, but that's all right. I grew up in Berkeley. Interesting time to be alive. Interesting time to be a teenager. And occasionally, not all the time, but every once in a while, my friends and I would not go to class in the 8th and 9th grade. And we would go to the Copper Penny restaurant and we'd order like a plate of pancakes to share and a pot of coffee because the coffee was never ending. And it would be pouring down rain, miserable winter day, and they didn't kick us out. And we just sat in there for like 3 hours getting refills of coffee after coffee. I mean, they even served, us like 14-year-olds, pot after pot of coffee. It's like, what are you guys doing? Don't you think maybe you should like call a truant officer or, ask where our parents are or why aren't we in school or whatever? I mean, seriously? So this one fits on me, so it's a 7.25. I suppose you could squeeze it and make it a size 7, but not any smaller than that. And I wouldn't want to open this up any bigger than that. Just fun. Yeah, for a penny. They did have items that were a penny, but their big thing, the coffee pots were copper, and under the laminate on the tables was all copper pennies, hence the name. And I think they had copper walls like in the kitchen and near the entrance. So, it was the copper penny. I don't think they exist anymore. So we can pass on that. That just reminded me of that. Okay, I'm going to do, we're going to do a ring. I told you I move around. I'm very eclectic. That's what I meant. Yes. It was literally a copper penny restaurant chain. And it just reminded me, that thing reminded me of sitting there drinking pots of coffee for, God, in the 1970s, I think a pot of coffee was, I don't know, $1 in unlimited refills. Exactly, Happy Ducky. So there's the 925. I bought this from a very reputable, large, very well known on YouTube person about a year ago. I mean, large following, very well known. Won't say the name. A while back, it is a sand cast brutalist ring. With marcasite in there. This really reminds me of coral. And here's where, see how the prongs are so well done? you're not going to be able to open or close those on your own compared to the earrings I was showing you. You see, this was a better example. This ring, not the marcasite, it's not marcasite, it's green. I'm just going to lose my mind. Malachite. I hope I said that in the first place. I hope I said that in the first place. This starts at $42. And this is definitely gender neutral. Let me give you the size. And it was, it's an artisan ring. The copper kettle. Yes. Oh, yeah, Gigi. You did the same. You just sit there. I mean, you got coffee forever and they never threw you out. Restaurants would never do that today. Never, ever. They would be like, you've been here. You're 13 and 14 years old. You've been here for 3 hours on a school day. You need to go. I don't. Times were so different in a good and in a bad way. So the size of this ring falls, the middle of it falls at a 7 1/4. The top falls at a 7, the bottom is almost 7 1/2, but the middle is in 7 1/4. Okay. This makes me want to go to the beach. Gigi, you know what I'm talking about. These little green malachite, they're beautiful. Little tiny round balls. I mean, see, doesn't this look like coral? I mean, maybe it doesn't to anyone else, but it very like sea foam. I don't know. That's just what I get from it. It's really unique and it's really lovely. So I'm calling it 7 1/4. And that's about right because this finger for me is a 7 1/2. And it doesn't really want to go all the way down. So that seems fair. I think it's, I love this ring. I wish this fit me. If this fit me, because the whole brutalist type of design is something I really like and I don't have any in my collection, I would keep it. I bought it. It was called a 7 1/2, but it's not. And I learned, I think it was from this transaction, how careful you have to be when sizing rings. So, oh, Gigi, I don't know, sweetie. The thing with this ring is it is kind of dark. See the little green balls? There's some like medium green, darker green, and it's not at the same height. They're all at a different height. And so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pieces, and they're slightly different color. Did that help Gigi at all? I know, Gigi. Did that help at all, honey? Does that help you? So it's sterling silver. Sorry about that. I got a dog with long hair. Sterling silver with that coral looking sand cast, etched, pitted, and then the 5 little green malachite. It's a hard piece to see, I know, and there's a side. I have debated, when I do Tuesday, Tabletop Tuesday, I have a second ring light, but it is a darker green with one or two light colored green. So that's about the best I can do, honey. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Oh, Rose, that's a good idea. Yeah, try that. It's a gorgeous piece. It truly is. So there we go. That was one. I'm going to go ahead and do another ring as long as I'm on rings. How is everyone doing? Thank you for being here. Fridays is my slower day, and there's a lot of competition. A lot of competition. 925 US. Okay, this is a really interesting ring. I've shown it before. This ring is going to start at 33. Oh, you got it, Gigi? Good. Okay. This ring is going to start at 33. And see, this is the other thing about me. I've shown this before. What did I bring the price? I don't know. It could have been a lot more. It could have been a little less. I don't keep like a huge spreadsheet of every single thing. If I want to look up something in particular and what I paid for it, I go back to where I got it from or my receipts. I look it up. Most of my stuff is in PayPal or eBay. But I don't, many sellers, they keep a huge spreadsheet and then they have inventory numbers and all that. I don't do that. I know around what I need to get out of it, around what I paid for it, and I just take it from there. So this has 3 flowers. One, then the one in the middle that's higher, and the one there. And it has 3 bands that also have the little chip stones. It's really sweet and really elegant. This one is another one because they're little white chip stones. It is a 925. Let me see something. Hold the pony. Hold the pony. Hold the horses. The it's very deceptive. The band pieces themselves look possibly kind of marcasite-y, but the flowers, they're not a clear white. They're a little grayish. They're not discolored. They're supposed to be that, but it's not poor man's diamonds malachite. I do not know what this stone is. What I do know is that it's beautiful. Definitely vintage, very classic. Very classic. Ooh, that loop is really dirty, isn't it? Very classic. That might be helping you guys. I don't know. Very classic, very, looks like wedding-ish. I don't know. The 925 is on the inside. It's probably going to be about a size 7. I'm thinking I don't know how old this is, but the fact that it says 925 and US, I mean, it's open. The stones are open. On the flowers, well, and they're open on what I think are marcasite on the band. It's hard to see. The holes are so tiny. To me, this looks like something like 1960s. Howsoever, I mean, it could be CZ's and not the poor man's diamonds. It could even be teeny tiny little diamond chips, but it looks kind of too grayish or lilac-y maybe, or something for that to me. And there you go, size 7. Styles come around, so this could be a style from the 1920s and it's popular again. So I can't really date how vintage this may or may not be. Oh, Gigi, make a cup of coffee. Get out of your funk, honey. So it's, like I say, it's beautiful. Think about it. Let me know. Okie dokie. So I did those. So I'm going to leave me like this because it seems to, even though now I'm like back here, we can pass on that for now. It seems to help with the light. I have this other ring light, but I also have a ring light that's huge. It's a permanent light with 5 different color setting above my head. So if I then had the other light on me as well, I feel like I would be like on TV. Gigi, you take care of yourself. Mucho importante. Mucho importante. Okay, this is entirely different, and this is going to start at, this can start at 13. It is one of those, thank you, wood painted brooches with the safety pin. Very a la 1960s, 1970s. And those are obviously the maker's initials. But what that means, it's like a YI, I think. I have no bloody idea. It is lacquered. And this is the front. Now see, this is why ring lights sometimes and me do not get along. It blows out what's going on. It is a hand painted So it could be 2 things. It's red curled up in a like a bud within a pink, light pink, the green stem and the green leaf and like a green grass on the bottom. So it could be a rosebud, sorry, rose, or it could be a tulip. It's hard to tell by the way they painted that. Now I'll move the ring light back over here so you can see the depth of color. See what I mean? It's very hard. I mean, I'm going with a rose, but it could be a tulip. I think it's beautiful. And then it's just flat black. Well, no, that's not true. There is a tiny gold edging line, similar to what the initial colors are, that goes around. And I love that they just put a safety pin. And I don't think it's supposed to go like that. It is supposed to go like that. And it is 1960s, 1970s, even 1950s. These were very popular. It's about almost 2 inches long and almost 1.5 inches wide. And then it's got a clear lacquer over top so that the painting does not get ruined. See the stems here. Yep. Okay. We're going to pass on that too. We're passing on a lot. Fridays can be, yeah, there's so many people on. And my channel is little but mighty. So it can be a struggle sometimes. It can be a struggle bus. It can be a struggle bus. Okay. What should I show? How about, remember Fridays is my more expensive day, so that can make things harder as well. So I do try to because Friday is my chat and sale, and I bring the more expensive items. I always try to bring items like the brooch, the hand painted wood brooch, to even out prices. And so I always have some of that. Now this is incredible. And do you see the sparkles on me? I picked this right as the sun is on me. It wasn't intentional. And I'm just looking at the stones because the sun is shining. Wow. So this is a double wreath brooch, and Happy Ducky. This starts at $24. This thing is, I've brought this at so many different prices. Honestly, I have to, hold on, I have to do something about my chair. There's my dog. Honestly, a year and a half ago, I would have been bringing this brooch at like $38 to $40. And it's not, I'm leaning forward. So it is gray. Let me do this. Large gray, and then AB with blue and greens in the middle, and pinks and orange around the sides. You see here? And depending on, let's see if I can get it in the sun again. Did the sun go away already? Oh, wow. I had just that one little moment there. There's some sparkle. This too. So this has no maker's name, but it is a really good high-end piece. 1960s, end of the 1960s. It's heavy. It's a double. And it's heavy. Here's the puddling. And you can see the clasp. It just is right there. The pin right there. It's very thick, and it needs to be this because this is so heavy. And look at this, the back. That's what we call the puddling. Is done so well. Oh, if only. Let's see if I turn it right now. It was just shining all over everything this way a minute ago. It won't do it. Oh, I know, the other way around. No, I can't get it. I'm so disappointed. That was like the perfect thing, and then it went away. Oh, well. It's all, can you see? You can't. It's all over my keyboard, but not on me. And not on you guys. Trust me, though, it puts out mega, mega sparkles. It's a super sun catcher, and it is big. It is big. It is big, and it's really, you have to see it in person. The gray is almost like an olive green, and then, like I said, all the little ABs are blue in the middle. Like they deliberately made it blue with foil, and then around that is pink and orange. And it's one of those things you have to see in person. It is 2 3/4 inches in diameter, so that's really large for a brooch. I suppose this could be like a scarf brooch. Why not? I don't see double ones like this, and with this grayish green olivey color that often. Not, I see double brooches. I showed this one, this high domed one yesterday, but they're very different animals, right? Yeah. Okay. It does, Rose. It wants to go to a family gathering. I mean, this would be perfect at Christmas, but I think it would be beautiful at Easter because the ABs are pastelly colors, and the other is color, the main, like baguette. I think that's what you call the oblong cut is neutral to where it would go with anything. So it's going down. It's going down. Remember, I don't do recaps. Let's show this again. We can pass. Happy Ducky. Show this one again. I don't know what I started at yesterday, but today it's starting at 33. It is thick mother of pearl. Then rhinestones, gold wire construction, high dome. Extremely unusual. Which one, Gigi, did you like? They both are. This one is so unique to me. I mean, they cut the metal specifically for this thick mother of pearl. And then see the ABs tucked in, and then the really large one in the center. I don't know if this is supposed to represent a flower. That sounds good, right? Like a double, Gerber daisy type thing or what, but it's pretty interesting. I'm going a little faster today than I have in the past. Ooh, I didn't set my timer. Wow, what's wrong with me? 1/2 an inch tall, almost 3/4 of an inch tall, almost 3/4 of an inch tall, and 1 3/4 inches in diameter. I just love the thick old vintage mother of pearl. Nowadays, when you see, I wish I had a piece because I've had them recently, where the mother of pearl is just like a thin slice. Even starting in the 70s, it was just like a fingernail, thin slice. None of this thick glory. I should do just a brooch sale. That's an idea. Okay, we can pass. Hello, and thank you to everyone that's here, and thank you to Happy Ducky very, very much. And Gigi, did you get your coffee? Or are you making your coffee? Because it is, it's after supper time for you. After supper time. Okay. If anyone has a request of a type of item they'd like to see, bring it on. Let me know what it is. Okay, I'm going to bring Dolly over, my first helper, Dolly. She got a little tangled up. She's got some hair on her. She needs to, I need to clean her. I have been neglecting Dolly. Yeah, thank you, Gigi. So this is red coral, tiny like turquoise heshi beads or hishi and shell. And it's pretty spectacular. And it is going to start at $50, which is actually probably an incredible steal. I think it's sponge coral, if that's a thing, which I believe it is, but I can't be positive. It actually, Happy Ducky, I want this to start at $55. Here's the clasp. I think this is probably like 80s, maybe late 70s. Here's the turquoise, this cut. So I'll get back to that in a minute. That cut is called hishi or heshi. Let me change the camera. Yuck. I mean the ring light. I hate that. It is a deep red, multicolored. This is like shell, mother of pearl. There's hishi, which is what I call them, or heshi. I'll call them heshi. In between every one, it is an artisan piece. You see the different colors of red on each one of these? It's pretty incredible. Let me take it off of Dolly. This is Dolly. So say hello, Dolly. these beads are what they call these teeny tiny thin beads, or what they call heishi or heshi. I do not know why. Usually it is my understanding that these would just be shell, not turquoise. But I may have the wrong end of the understanding because I'm just learning. The clasp is very old and it was silver tone, and the copper is starting to show. So, and I don't know. I'm assuming this was made by Native American, but I can't say that with any, 100% conviction. I can't, but it has all the hallmarks. And this, yeah, like a spongy coral. I know that it's coral because that's how it was described to me from the person I bought it from. It's very, very orange red. So what I'd like to know is if this is, thank you, shell or shell bead. Yes, exactly. So see, that's the thing. It's kind of overused terminology, right? But the person who sold it to me, who Happy Ducky, is, I consider very reputable, and that's what it was called when it was sold to me. So I just have to roll with it. But I am used to it being, there you go. Yes, Happy Ducky. Because honestly, yeah, that's what I got to do. But the sponge coral, so sponge coral means, so all coral is spongy. Hello, it lives in the ocean. It's spongy. It's how it gets its nutrients. But this is, even though it's polished, it's got so many different colors of the orange and the red. And so I am calling it spongy coral. Is that the correct name? I'm not sure, y'all. Oh my goodness, Gigi, that's interesting. Your mother made purses that remind you of this necklace. Gigi, was your mother Native American? I have no idea. Gigi? You know what I've always thought really strongly in my family line is that I have something called, it is just the name, but it's also kind of a put down. It's just a mixture, and it's a particular race, Melungian, which is like a mixture of Irish, African American, and Native American. And it was a group of people who escaped and took off and went and hid in the hollers of West Virginia, the Appalachians, but particularly the Virginias, and created their own communities and intermarried. And I suspect very strongly when I look at my family tree that I have that in my tree. So there it is on. It is about 16 inches, and I'm proud of it, man. 16 inches. It's a beautiful piece. And I do know that at the price that I bought it and the price that I'm selling it, it's worth double or triple that. And I've shown it a few times. If it doesn't sell, it's just going right back to the listing box. Yep, right back to the listing box. because I will start an asking price of $100. Gigi, do you have any of the purses left? So we can pass on that. Fridays often turn out to be more of like educational than selling. Sometimes stuff sells because it's higher prices, so it's harder on the pocketbook. And people really got to know me with selling kitsch household and lower prices in jewelry. And I have my following, but it's hard on the pocketbook. I know it, and it's an adjustment, and that's okay. That's okay. A girl can believe in herself. So I was wearing a necklace very similar to this a couple of weeks ago. That was orange with these brass. Interesting. Well, I got folks from that area. I was wearing an orange one, and it was just a single strand with the same little brass hanging, the same construction of these, but orange with the little brass hanging things, and it was super, super long, and I was wearing it doubled. This is the same style. I date these to about the 1960s, and it is tribal. It's not made in this country. In other words, it is ethnic, tribal. And it will start at $29. It is on copper. This is the extender. If you want, you can extend it as long as you want. However, I always try to keep in mind that if I use an extender that's this style, since this is like a collar piece, you want this to line up. So when you come up here to the extender, it's not lined up. See that? Hold on. Whoops. See, it's not lined up. So therefore, you have to, even though someone would call it an extender, is it? Because you really can't. It's very long. It's starts here with only one bead, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to sit here and I'm going to count how many strands hang down. Then I'll show it to you on me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 24 pieces. It's got beautiful motion, and it is a collar. Yeah, thank you, Happy Ducky. This is very cool. I love my orange single strand, but this one is really fun. And it makes little metallic noise as it moves around, right? So there it is like that. You could bring it all the way up like this. And so here it's going down to about 26 when it's tighter right at the base of my neck. If I bring it down, it's going to be about 28 going right to the top of everything. And this is definitely a summer, like this is the statement piece. This is a statement piece. You would not wear long earrings with this. You would wear some kind of like little black studs or something. Maybe tiny gold hoops. That would work. Pamela. There's Pamela. Pamela's in at 29. Now look, guess what hi Pamela, how are you? Guess what I'm going to do? First off, you should have done that. No, not that. Should have done that. Boom. Happy Ducky is very descriptive. And secondly, now Pamela's in. Tube top. Oh my God, a tube top. Rose, where have you been all my life? Rose, where have you been all my life? I wore tube tops all day long, every day, running around in the summer. Oh my God. And these black beads, I gotta tell you, I've never paid them a lot of attention, and I don't have a presidium, but they're either glass, like older glass, or I could be completely like wacko and they're onyx. I really don't know. I don't. Yeah, with your cutoffs. So if no one is going to come in at 30 or higher, Pamela's going to get an incredible deal. I just love this. I think it's sexy. Let's just say that. I think it's sexy. So we can count her down for Pamela. I do. I have a lot of packing, a little bit of invoicing, and I'm going to go ahead and start invoicing out for this week, even though I won't send it until the end of next week. Oh, Pamela. Excellent buy, Pamela. Let me put this in a bag. Let me write it down and then put it. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. I'd love to see what you do with it. I mean, I don't know if you wear this stuff personally or if you flip it or, and it's none of my business. I'm just curious. I love it. I'm putting it carefully in a bag. It's so fun. And it makes the best noise. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So, and again, remember, if at any time someone has a request, let me know, please. I am going to, I'll show another little necklace on Dolly right now. And Happy Ducky, I'm so, I just, it's such a miracle. Universal, like right on time thing that you showed up in my life. And I'm so appreciative of you. Yes. This is going to start at 16. It's very old. It is faux pearls on cord, hand knotted. Here is the clasp. It's an older clasp. I didn't test it. It doesn't say 925 anywhere, but it has a look of 925 to me. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to bother testing it. It's just a clasp. I do know it's a much older style and it's very, hold on. Well, there indeed is a marking on the clasp. Super small, very worn out, and I think it's 925, but it's just the clasp and it's teeny tiny, so we're not going to worry too much about that. These are really nice quality faux pearls on doubled cord. When you see things strung on cotton cord or this twisted double cord like this, you know that at the very least it's early 50s, if not actually going back to 1920s or earlier. They stopped using cord by the 70s, and I think it was starting to be a lot less used by the 60s because the necklaces that came in vogue and that were really popular were the 2 to 5 strand Japanese layered chokers that I love so much. And they too were on cord, but once that started kind of going out of style, they started using metal, and then they started using that stretchy fishing line. So do you see the double strands right there? And then there's a teeny tiny knot here and here on every one. I mean, it's teeny tiny. And these have that smell of grandma. You know, the old pearls, and how when you would go sit at grandma's vanity and like put your hands in her jewelry box, how the certain pearls, they just smell kind of like baby powder. Like, if that makes any sense. They smell like grandma. Like, that's, see here? And this cord is, it's really fine. I mean, even though these are faux pearls, I say that because there's just a couple tiny spots where there's a little bit of the coating that has come off. So I know they're not real pearls. But it's absolutely beautiful and dainty. And I'm going with 1910, 1920 on this one. And I am. And heaven help me, that's my opinion. The cord is in near perfect condition, Gigi. Yes. Someone took really good care of it. Whoopsie. So let me put it back. And it is like a 15-incher. Look how pretty that is on. I mean, again, I'm wearing these big long earrings. Well, I just think it's really sweet. So, yep. Let me see the cord. Like, this, is that actually a thing, or is that, yeah, like for instance, right there is the tiniest of pulls, but nothing's unraveling, and it's not coming undone. But that, I mean, and that's it. The rest of it is like it was made yesterday. Really pretty. Very dainty, very delicate. Needs a nice home where someone is going to wear it and appreciate it. Instead of just sitting around, I got to put it in the bag, sitting around in my boxes of stuff. Remember, I don't do recaps. So if anyone is interested in anything you've seen so far or you're thinking about it, you can put it in the chat at any time. You can, if you're just coming in, you can always go to your settings and put it on double time and see what you missed and drop in the chat that you're interested in such and such an item, and I will happily bring it up. Okay, so I'm going to do, I have 10 altogether. I'm going to do the 3 that I've been showing. Ah. Well, maybe you need to sweeten up. Happy Ducky. I'm teasing. Yeah. So your husband doesn't want the sugar, so you get the sugar instead, right? Don't you just love husbands like that? It's like, here, honey, I don't mind if you get a little chubby. You drink it. So I have a lot more of these Jabbits, but I'm not going to show them unless someone is, really interested. I'm still on the 3 that I've been bringing out because, and I'm going to show 3 Jabbits, and it's going to be choice at 14. But if you want the vintage hanky with it, 16. Okay, starting bid. What is a Jabbit? Y'all have been here, most of you, so you should know. A Jabbit, this is a Jabbit. And I did not pin this one through the hanky, but I'm giving you a background. They're celluloid. These ones are celluloid. Jabbits were an accessory that you wore on a collar. Both men and women, royalty and men wore these, for centuries. But it became a style in the 1910, 1920s for men and women to wear them on their ties. Instead of those big frilly things, they started wearing a much smaller kind of squared, almost like a triangular pocket square, and women wore ties in the 1920s. So these were for men and women. It's carved celluloid. This one has rhinestones. Rhinestone at the bottom. Very thick pin. And this unscrews. It's literally a threaded screw. And you put it through and back out, kind of like a stick pin. This is where stick pins came from that we all wore in the 70s. And this one is like a bamboo, and they are gender neutral. They're in perfect shape. And I like it with the vintage hanky because it gives a display, and you could put the hanky around here and put the pin, or you could just display them, but it's not a requirement. So this is one of them, and they are all they all stay within about the 3-inch long range. So think of the Gilded Age with these. So that's that one with this yellow hanky because I think it brings out the colors really nicely. And like I said, I have a whole box, but unless people are interested in purchasing, it's not worth it for me to bring more out. I'll probably wind up listing them and selling them at a higher price than I'm offering. I got a good deal on them. This is a one that's coated in a material that I cannot determine that this is celluloid, but it's coated in some kind of material with this bulge out, and then the silver end caps screws apart, looks like big giant pearls, and I put it on this hanky. I love this one. And it's hollow. And it just, they screw open. I might as well show you how it does that. Yeah, jab it. I had never heard of it either until I saw it on the, I saw them and I was like, what? And then I did a deep dive. So this is the screw. See that? And see what happened by putting it through the hanky? Because they're super thick. So it will, if you put it through material, that's what's going to happen. So I did it knowing that it would make a hole in both places, would pull threads. But I thought as a display, like in a shadow box, or if you wanted to put this in fold it up and put it in a pocket or whatever. And you can wear it like that as well, up to you. But it will, hi, Jessie, how are you? It will, they are screws and it's very thick and it's a screw as opposed to the sharp stick pin. So that's a deal. That's what's going to happen with it. And then this last one is also indeed a favorite of mine. And I put it with this. This one is celluloid. That one I really couldn't determine. This one is a pot metal. I think this one is older. I think this one is turn of the century. This is a pot metal with rhinestones. In emerald green. All the rhinestones are there. And I put it with this hanky. Scalloped. I like the contrast. And I like the green. Pulls into this green. It's almost matching. And this is, how it is. It's not coming apart. There's the tiniest ding on there. And then this unscrews. Here's the back. I just think if you're a jewelry person and you like history, then you want to add this to your collection. And like I said, that was 3. I have 7 more, and they're all different types. I do have, buttonholes. Jessie, buttonholes. Absolutely. I didn't even think of that. Yes, you could, instead of ruining, like my sweater, unless I was going to leave it on there forever, which, I have all my country shirts have brooches everywhere. I have a brooch on right now, right here. You could put it through your button shirt. Yep, you could put it through one buttonhole and then down to another. Now the buttons would have to be within, what is that? Let's see. 1.25 inches of each other. But I suspect that would work beautifully. Wow, that was great. Oh, Gigi, yes, 100%. And look at this. I have a ton of vintage hankies too, if anyone is interested in vintage hankies. I have a bunch of those for pretty cheap. So if anyone is interested in Jabbit pins, I first showed them a couple months ago, and I think the thumbnail of that sale has a Jabbit pin. And it might be this one, or it might be the pearl one. So you could go and look, or if you're just interested in Jabbit pins in general, send me an email if you're seriously interested at this low price, and I will send you pictures of all of them, but only please if you're really interested. Because nobody wants to do all that work if it's for naught. Okay, let's see. How about this? How about this? We can pass on those. I'm very surprised considering the cool history of these, that the Jabbits, that no one is interested. But you know what? I'm often very surprised. um, because what I tend to love in the history and the costume jewelry uh, is eclectic, and it really is the history, and not everyone is into that. So this is going to start. This is a beautiful example of a costume jewelry necklace. This is going to start at $30. Please and thank you. It is black hearts with teeny tiny, I think these are more foiled rhinestones than AB. And let me change my ring light color. Let's see if that works. So this is kind of in between thermoset and just acrylic. 1950s, probably maybe early 60s, but I think late 50s. And I don't like the color of that light. But I don't like the color of that light. Wow. I should probably change my overhead. So here's the back with the acorn extender. Let me take it off of this. This is something that I have had squirreled away for a long time. I haven't shown this in a long time. It is made in, I think that's Japan, if I remember correctly, because I've had this for a couple decades in a box. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yep, Japan. Of course, Japan on the clasp, hard to read. Here's the finial. And look at the chain. It's really lovely. Here is the back. I said 30. I did. I honestly said 30. These are harder and harder to find. Here's the back. And there, each one has articulation. So it has a lot of movement. Something that, again, if you've been around me for a while, I'm all about movement. You know something? Hold on. Oh my Lord. This. Did I really see that? I really did. Wow. Okay. We can drop the price to, good Lord, that makes me sad. We can drop the price to 20 because right there is missing a stone. It is prongs, and the prongs are still there, but the stone is gone. So buy it now for 20. If you have these teeny tiny stones, you can fix it. And if no one wants it at that price and wants to fix it, I will put it aside. I will repair it and I will bring it back at 30. This is with no extender. So it is 16 inches right here. well, about 15. If I was going to use some of the extender, I could have it like this. And where is the missing stone? I want to see where that is. Hold on. Oh, yep. The missing stone is the, one more time. 1, 2, 2, 4. Fifth one in on this side. So it's not in all of this. That's the main thing. It's right there. Oh, that's such a bummer. Especially, I mean, this is a quality Japan piece, really collectible with this acorn finial. That's original. And it's solid. Wow. Okay. Well, y'all, I'm gonna repair this and bring it back at 30. Might not be for a little while, but wow, that caught me by surprise. That caught me by surprise. So that goes in my repair. Oh, that's not good. That makes me sad. Okay. Well, y'all. Yep, the prongs are there, and I have a cabinet filled with miscellaneous sized rhinestones and super old beads and blah blah blah, to fix it. So and I have the tools, the German needle nose and other jeweler plier tools, so I can do it. We're gonna do a choice. These are going to be, I will lose money on some of these. These are going to be $14. Your choice. Buy it now. Plastic, fantastic bangles. Please, Happy Ducky. They're going to be your choice. Plastic, fantastic bangles. I will show you each one individually, but I thought I'd let you know what we're looking at here. They are all vintage, no repopping. This is the smallest one, but absolutely lovely. It is a dark red with blue ABs in the middle and red on the side. There is nothing missing. It is pretty freaking spectacular. I'm still really sad that's one of my favorite vintage pieces that I've ever gotten, believe it or not, that necklace I just showed you. And I'm bummed out. Here's the inside. And fits on me easy peasy. 7.25. Okay. No problem, Happy Ducky. I'm going to be closing soon. So that's one. 7.25. You could wear it as a 7, but it would, go down to about here. And if you don't mind, you don't mind. This one is how it's carved. It may be machine carved. It is a random kind of pattern with, see, I can't, 1, 2, I'm looking at the pattern to see if it's stamped into the plastic. And I'm going to say no. And there's a couple reasons I'm going to say that. One is inside, this is so hard to show. Inside each one of these is lines. So it could have been like a stamp, like a hot press or something. But every single, there you go, pattern is different. It's not, none of them are the same. So, and I know that's not showing so well. I really wish it was showing better. There you go. There is no rhyme or reason to the carving. So it might have had like a hot thing pressed into it, but it's just a random pattern. It's on both sides. It does have a seam. And then the other thing that's really cool about this, it has white all through it randomly, kind of like slag glass. See here and here. And here. I wish it would show that better here. Golly. My ring light will be perfect and then it will just suck. Anyway, it's like slag glass. It's a dark cobalt blue. And this would fit a 7.5. Okay. And the last one is like a jadeite. Plastic carved like jade, right? Jadeite colors. Again, the slag glass kind of look. Moss green with white. This one is a vintage, but the carving is the same, unlike the blue one. So it could have been in a mold. The inside, see the green and white? Love that. Okay. That too could be a 7.5. I love them too. Easily 7.5. So when I say a 7.5, it means it's 2 3/4 inches opening, 2 3/4 inches on the 7.5, the green and the blue. The rhinestone one is 2.5. So it would be a 7.25. And see, I love my costume jewelry plastics, and this is part of why. There's so much that you can do with plastic that you can't do with semi-precious metals and semi-precious stones. Plastic is a whole different, like, work of art. So is semi-precious, don't get me wrong, but it's just a whole different deal. So I'm going to end on a micro mosaic because it's time for me. Thank you, Happy Ducky. Okay. That was super fast. I'm going to end on a micro mosaic. I think it's been about 2 hours, even though I had some computer problems. And I'm so grateful that you all have been here and that you all are hanging out with me. But this is the first time my back has felt better in a long time. I have a big weekend ahead of me, and I need to take care of myself. So if you just came in, you can use this opportunity while I show this micro mosaic brooch and go back and see if there's something you want and drop it in the chat, or you can reach out to me later at my email. And Gigi wants the green bracelet. Gigi, This one's really cool. I love this. And it's plastic, and slag, but it's supposed to look like jade, right? GG. Thank you. Thank you, GG. Thank you. Oh, Pamela. Pamela is taking the one that sold on eBay for $50. Pamela. So first off, and then Pamela, you Pamela, you want, oops, what did I do? Hold on. Sorry. You're talking about this, correct? This one. Oh my God. This is so incredible. Yes, Gigi, you absolutely did get the green one. And this brooch, it sold on eBay for $50. If you figure out who the designer is, let me know. This is Pamela. Wowzers. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. This goes here. This goes here. This is just phenomenal. I'm glad you got that, Pamela. And I'm glad you got it before I decided to raise the price. And Gigi, I absolutely put you down for the green bracelet. It is over here in my sold pile. I promise. It is pretty. Gigi, it is very pretty. And I think green is a color you really like, isn't it, Gigi? I think I've noticed that you buy a lot of things that are green. I should send you a vintage hanky, Gigi. Gigi, you want a vintage hanky? Gigi, before I show my last item, would you like one, honey? What is that? Look at this. Here I am on my computer finding the teeniest, tiniest red rhinestone. I have to put this someplace really careful. It's so small. Did it come out of the... No, it didn't come out of that. Where did it come from? It's so small. If it wasn't on my computer, I never... Oh my Lord. I have to look back at what I showed that had red rhinestones. Okay. Gigi, do you want... Gigi, I'm just going to send you one. Gift. A hanky. Okay, there you go. So this is the last item of the sale. Happy Ducky. Ugh, the pollen is bugging me. And this is going to start at $39 micro mosaic. Oh, that's right. Gigi, I knew it. This micro mosaic is going to start at $39. This is a gorgeous one. This is like special. This is like double layered. And it's got the wire put around here. Then it's got the teeny tiny pieces of blues and whites. Then it's got the larger of the green, which is an unusual grass green color. Then on top of that, raised up over the bed of that green, these orange and yellow with some white large flowers with little teeny tiny yellows and pink flowers, and there's leaves. This one is not made for the tourist trade. This one is more like prior to 1950s, 1930s to 1940s, although everything kind of stopped in the 40s. It is stamped Italy. It has the crude clasp right there. The pin back comes through. You can see let me poke at that. I want to poke at this and see what the heck that is. Okay, it's gone. That's patina. So there was all that patina on there. There's still a little bit left. And all I did was poke my thumbnail on it, and it's coming off because this is brass. And underneath is some copper. So the patina was building up, and I could scratch the rest of that off. But I wanted to show you that it's not an imperfection. It just is what it is. Do you see what I mean by a cruder clasp through the piece that's down there? And see how far it sticks out? And it's a really thick one. I've never seen this. Good night, Rose. Good night, Rose. Thank you. Happy Ducky. Rose, give your miracle a hug and have a wonderful night. So this is a special one. And these, right now, micro mosaics are really hot. And depending on if you're getting a tourist made one starting in the 50s, but most definitively the really large pieces starting in the 70s, they're worth less than ones like this that have the finer details. And you kind of have to get to know your micro mosaics to know what's what. I've had some help from a couple people to help me figure it out. So this is a little over 2 inches long and an inch wide. Good night, sweetie. Gigi. Yep. That's right. And I love that it's a leaf. And it's just, yeah, the art in these is beautiful. So that was my last piece. God knows what everything's really worth, Gigi. Okay, well, happy. Now that you've been drinking your sugared coffee, I am going to close. I am going to go. My partner has to go down to the city and work. He's leaving tomorrow morning. It was just over the hill. Doing all the shopping stuff because I can't really do that very effectively most of the time anymore until I figure out what's wrong with my back, etc. So I'm all stocked up. I've got all my goodies, and I'll be working diligently this weekend after I wake up in the mornings on packing and putting everything away here and finishing a couple invoices. And perfect. Thank you, Happy. And yeah, and then I'll be back Tuesday for Tabletop Tuesdays, Thursday for my low to medium range costume jewelry, and then Friday for my educational and higher end. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you so much. I hope everyone has a wonderful and blessed weekend, and I'll see you later. Thank you for all your help, everyone, and you, Ducky. Bye.